Here comes LaMichael James. James turning the corner. James into the open field, and he is gone. 53 yards, and the man who's had more 50-yard runs than anybody in college football since 2009 rips off another one, and just like that, the Ducks are on top.
Hi, everybody. Welcome for Week 7. Yeah, Week 7. It's hard to believe, but it is Week 7 of the college football season and our Pac-12 preview, along with the UCLA Hall of Famer J.J. Stokes, Roxy Bernstein with you, and glad you're with us for another edition and another thrilling weekend of Pac-12 football. And it started last Thursday night, J.J., with the Oregon Ducks hosting Cal. The Bears were ahead at halftime, 15-14, but Oregon just steamrolled the Bears in the second half behind the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. Another huge game for LaMichael James.
Yes, LaMichael James is an unstoppable force. I mean, he has the offensive line in front of him, and they create little creases, and he doesn't need much to make something happen because he's an explosive football player. He has the speed to get downfield and to stretch defenses. He's just an all-around fantastic football player.
Only one touchdown, but carried it 30 times, another 200-plus rushing yard game for James, who had 4 carries of at least 30 yards or more in the contest. But on a downside for Oregon, LaMichael James got hurt in the fourth quarter of the ball game, hurt his elbow. Don't know how long James will be out. How does this affect Oregon, who needs to step up for the Ducks?
Well, they have 2 guys that can come in and get the job done. They have DeAnthony Thomas, the young freshman, and also they have Kenyon Barner, guys that have done it in the past. And these are electrifying players likewise. They just need to develop that timing and rapport with that offensive line and Darren Thomas, and they can make the same things happen.
Well, the Stanford Cardinals can add to the nation's longest winning streak as they win again, blowing out Colorado at Stanford Stadium, 48-7. Now, Colorado tried to do something, I don't know if it's unconventional, JJ, but they wanted to stack the box and make Andrew Luck throw the football to beat him. Well, guess what? He did. Andrew Luck, 370 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Stanford racked up over 550 yards in total offense. Just another brilliant performance by David Shaw's offense.
It was, and if there's a quarterback that is more comfortable throwing the ball than handing the ball off, it's Andrew Luck. They put him in his comfort zone where he can sit back there with protection up front and really pick the defenses apart. Anytime you give this guy time up front, I mean, he has good decision-making skills, and he's going to get the ball to the open receiver.
And the other game that literally went down to the wire, that was a thrilling football game at the Rose Bowl late Saturday night, as was Washington State on the road. The Cougs trying to go to 4-1 for the first time since 2003, taking on UCLA, who was in desperate need of a win. And the Bruins defense and Andrew Abbott, JJ, found a way to get it done as they picked off Marshall Lobestall late to seal the victory for the Bruins.
You know, that was an amazing interception that happened, but if you take back what happened, Breho goes down with a broken leg, and Kevin Prince steps in and gets the job done. And that's what we've seen from this UCLA team all year long is quarterback goes down, somebody steps in. And it reinvigorated this offense and helped them provide the points needed to win the game.
Let's shift our focus to Week 7 and the games this week that are going on. It all starts again on a Thursday night for the Pac-12 as Cal at AT&T Park hosts USC, 6 o'clock, national TV. As this great rivalry between Southern California and Northern California, a new chapter in AT&T Park right on the shores of San Francisco Bay.
It's going to be a huge rivalry, and I love it because they are mirror images. They have outstanding quarterbacks. They have fantastic receivers in Allen and Woods, and then in the running game, they have Tyler for USC, and at Cal, they have Sofele. So this is going to be an outstanding game come Thursday.
I want to ask you about the receiver play. Keenan Allen of Cal, Robert Woods of USC, both in the top 5 in the country as far as receivers go. Only sophomores. What do you see from these young guys?
And they're so much alike in the fact that they find ways to get open, and likewise their offensive coordinator finds ways to put them in position to get open, whether it's putting them in motion, lining them up in the slot, and they both have explosive speed down the field. So that's where they are similar, and they both get the ball quite often, the reason why they're in the tops in the nation.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen has scored a touchdown in each of the last 4 games for California. That matchup will be fun to watch all night. Woods for SC, Keenan Allen for California. Speaking of fun matchups, All eyes are on Eugene, Oregon. Saturday, College Game Day will be in Eugene as Arizona State visits Oregon. A huge tilt that'll have big implications in the Pac-12 race.
Yes, this will have big implications. And I said it a minute ago when I was speaking of Oregon. It's about DeAnthony Thomas. It's about Kenyon Barner being able to develop that relationship with the quarterback and offensive line of Oregon in order to make big things happen in the offense for the Ducks.
Well, on the other side, JJ, for Arizona State and Dennis Erickson, they're really playing some good football right now. They're coming off a huge win as they rolled in the second half in Salt Lake City and clobbered Utah. They're playing with a lot of momentum right now, and they're establishing themselves, JJ, as the team to beat in the Pac-12 South.
They definitely have established that, beating SC in their first home game against SC, and then on top of that, they're playing fantastic defensively, and this matchup is interesting from this standpoint. Oregon runs the ball extremely well. We all know that, one of the tops in the country. And what does ASU do the best? They stop the run with a linebacking core that they have led by Vontaze Burfict. So I think it's going to fall into can they run the football against a vaunted defense? It's going to be interesting because I think it'll force them to pass the football.
Well, another key matchup, JJ, Saturday night in the Palouse. Stanford will try to add to the nation's longest winning streak. Beating Colorado was 13 straight, looking for 14 against Washington State. Paul Wolf's team is trying to come back after suffering a tough setback at UCLA. Should be a fun game to watch with the two high-powered offenses going at it. Washington State, Marshall Lobestall at the helm. Of course, Stanford and Andrew Luck.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. It's going to be an offensive explosion here. You have Andrew Luck, everybody's All-American Heisman guy, come in and off of a great passing week last week with 370 yards. He's ready to play, and their balance on offense. From Washington State's standpoint, they have two outstanding receivers, and they have Lobestall behind the center. These guys are effective, they're exciting, and they can take advantage of a Stanford weakness, which is that secondary.
Also, two big non-conference games for the Pac-12 coming up this weekend is Utah will travel across country and go play Pitt out of the Big East at a 9 a.m. kickoff West Coast time, 10 a.m. Utah time. So that might factor into the equation here as the Utes go cross country. And the other game that's really intriguing is up in Corvallis. Oregon State coming off their first win of the year. They'll host Bronco Mendenhall, a former Beaver football player, and BYU. These are two important games for the league.
Yes, they definitely are. You look at Oregon State coming off of a huge victory a week ago, and their momentum is high. They have Sean Mannion, a freshman quarterback, having an outstanding performance, and they can take advantage in the passing game. And then you have Utah going against the Pitt team who likes to run the football and stop the run, but as we all know, they have outstanding receivers at Utah with Dries Anderson, and they can get it done in the air.
Well, that's the slate for Week 7 in the Pac-12. Hope you get a chance to get your football fix this weekend, and hope you tune in next week and check out our Week 8 preview. And again, thanks for tuning in to Week 7 in the Pac-12. Along with J.J. Stokes, Roxy Bernstein, we'll see you here next week.